In January 1959, 10 students from the Ural Polytechnic Institute in the Soviet Union went on a skiing expedition into the Ural Mountains, led by 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov. This group of 9 men and 2 women planned to traverse the snowy slopes of Kholat Saykhl, ominously named Dead Mountain, by the indigenous Mansi people. However, their adventure turned into a tragic mystery that puzzled the world until now. Today, we are going to shatter all the most popular myths surrounding that incident and tell you what recent findings of science say exactly happened. You see, one of the students, suffering from joint pain, decided to return, leaving the rest of the group to continue. They set up their camp on the night of February 1st, but that was the last time anyone heard from them. Weeks later, a search team discovered a haunting scene. Their tent, barely visible under the snow, had been cut open from the inside, suggesting a desperate escape. Near a cedar tree, the first 2 bodies were found, oddly underdressed in the freezing weather. This makes you wonder what was after them that they left in such a hurry, even without clothes in such a freezing conditions.
Nicholas Theobald Brignolel, Alexander Zolotarev, Alexander Kolevatov.
As the snow thawed, the rest of the group was found scattered across the slope.
Sineta Kolmogorova, 22. She was just a year older than I am now. She got the closest to the camp before succumbing.
The scene was macabre. Some bodies had severe injuries like smashed skulls and chests.
Igor Dyatlov, 23. The group's leader and the most experienced hiker.
Others were missing eyes, and one a tongue.
Rustem Slobodkin, 23. The first of them to fall.
It was a grim puzzle, with pieces that didn't seem to fit.
Because there's so much that we know about what happened at Dyatlov Pass, so many details, and yet the whole thing remains shrouded in mystery.
Why would someone cut a tongue or take out the eyeball of his victims? Initially, a criminal investigation blamed an unknown natural force for their deaths.
Категорически нет. Я категорически не согласна с этой версией, что все туристы замерзли.
A conclusion that only fueled wild speculation and conspiracy theories.
Никаких природных катаклизмов, которые бы могли привести к этому, это нет.
По-другому я это объяснить не могу, кроме как убийством.
These ranged from secret military weapon tests and encounters with indigenous Mansi tribes to attacks by mythical creatures like Yetis, or even extraterrestrial beings.
Весь мой опыт работы эксперта-криминалиста, он говорит о том, что это не несчастный случай, это убийство.
It appears that the officials involved at the time of the autopsies basically tried to sweep this entire thing under the rug.
First theory. The Soviet military was conducting secret tests of weapons or harmful chemicals in the area, which led to the hikers' deaths. This theory lacks corroborative evidence. If there had been military tests or weapon trials, evidence like unexploded ordnance, chemical residues, or other military equipment would likely have been found at the site. Additionally, the injuries the hikers suffered, such as chest and skull trauma, are not consistent with known effects of conventional weapons or chemical agents. Also, declassifying Cold War-era documents haven't revealed any military activities in that specific area that could be linked to the incident. Second theory. Some speculated that the Mansi, an indigenous people of the region, might have attacked the hikers for trespassing on sacred land. The Mansi, known for their peaceful interactions with Soviet authorities and outsiders, had no history of violent conflict with trekkers or skiers. The lack of defensive wounds on the hikers or signs of struggle at the campsite also contradicts the theory of an attack. Furthermore, an attack by humans would likely leave behind evidence such as footprints, weapon remnants, or other signs, none of which were found. Third theory. A mythical creature like a Yeti attacked the hikers. This theory is purely speculative and borders on mythical folklore. There is no credible scientific evidence supporting the existence of Yetis or similar creatures. The injuries and the state in which the bodies were found don't suggest an animal attack. Wild animals typically leave distinctive marks, none of which were observed in this case. Fourth theory. Extraterrestrial beings or a UFO caused the hikers' deaths, inspired by reports of strange lights in the sky around the time of the incident. While unexplained lights were reported in the sky, these are more likely attributable to natural atmospheric phenomena, like auroras, or military missile tests that were known to be conducted in the broader region. the UFO theory does not offer a plausible explanation for the specific injuries and circumstances found. Also, no physical evidence supporting an extraterrestrial encounter, such as unusual materials or radiation, inconsistent with the natural environment, was discovered. Fifth theory. The government covered up the true cause of the hikers' deaths. While the Soviet government was known for its secrecy and censorship, there's no direct evidence that they covered up the true cause of the hikers' deaths. Furthermore, the reopening of the investigation in 2019 and its conclusion supporting the Avalanche theory suggests a willingness to address the incident transparently. A government cover-up would likely have been more consistent and not left open ambiguities that fueled speculation. The scientific explanation for the Dyatlov Pass incident has gained substantial credibility thanks to the detailed research by Alexander Puzrin and Johann Gaume in 2019. Their investigation brought modern scientific techniques and avalanche simulation technologies to bear on this decades-old mystery, offering a more plausible explanation than the numerous conspiracy theories that had proliferated over the years.
This avalanche released very big blocks, and you can imagine that if you receive such big blocks on your ribs, it can really lead to serious injuries.
Puzrin and Gaume's research focused on the snowpack and environmental conditions present at the Dyatlov Pass at the time of the incident. They discovered that the hikers had set up their tent on a slope that was more susceptible to avalanches than previously thought. While the slope's incline seemed mild, hidden under the snow was an older, weaker layer that created a precarious balance. This weak layer could have been destabilized by the hikers cutting into the snow to set up their camp, a common practice to shield tents from the wind. Adding to this was the phenomenon of katabatic winds, cold, downslope winds common in mountainous regions. These winds can deposit significant amounts of snow over a short period, drastically increasing the load on an already unstable slope. Puzrin and Gaume theorized that the combination of the hikers' activity and these winds likely led to a delayed but powerful avalanche. Interestingly, the research suggested that the avalanche would not have been large in scale. Instead, it involved a compact, dense block of snow, approximately 16 feet in length. This is significant because a smaller avalanche might not leave obvious signs, explaining why initial investigators didn't consider it a cause. Despite its size, this block of snow was capable of inflicting severe injuries, consistent with those found on the hikers' bodies, particularly when considering the hikers were sleeping on a rigid surface made by their skis. The bizarre state of undress of some of the hikers can be explained by paradoxical undressing, a known behavior of hypothermia victims where individuals, feeling irrationally hot, remove their clothes. This phenomenon aligns with the severe cold and wind exposure they would have faced following the avalanche. Furthermore, the presence of low-level radioactivity on some clothing was attributed to contamination from materials the hikers might have carried, possibly related to their academic work in physics and engineering. The missing tongue and eyes from some of the bodies, while disturbing, are not unusual in cases of natural decomposition, especially considering the action of scavenging wildlife. In summary, the recent scientific examination of the Dyatlov Pass incident provides a more rational and plausible explanation for the tragic events. It highlights a confluence of natural factors, an unfortunate selection of a campsite, unstable snow conditions, and harsh weather, leading to a catastrophic avalanche. This interpretation might lack the intrigue of more sensational theories, but it offers a more grounded understanding of the incident, reminding us of the inherent unpredictability and danger of wilderness exploration.
There is no truth.